don't have to clinch when you fight, but you have to know how to clinch if you're going to fight. You get what I mean? If there's no clinch, then it's not Muay Thai. You have to know how to clinch in order to control a bout, in order to control an opponent, and to maneuver the situation towards your strengths. People underestimate how much wrestling is involved in Muay Thai, to the point where I would even argue to say that the clinch is a martial art all on its own within Muay Thai. Now, the purpose of the Muay Thai Clinch 101 series is meant to give you a basic primer and foundation in the clinch. There are many ways to close the distance and to initiate the clinch, but this video isn't for that. But I will say that generally, the clinch happens organically, and it's usually when the two boxers sort of collide into each other.
Wrestling's about positioning, but sometimes it's like, what's the ultimate goal? So the ultimate goal is, as a beginner, you're probably going to want to get the full clinch. Or you can relax right there. You want to get the full clinch. You get that? But that's going to be harder in the more intermediate levels and advanced levels.
Now, this is in reference to this position, which is the double collar tie or the full clinch. That's not to say that this position isn't useful, but this position isn't what the clinch fully means or entails. But a little more on this position as well as other collar tie positions later on in the video.
All right. The goal is to get into a position where you can strike without them striking you back. So basically tie them up, all right? Or if you play the game of scoring and dumping, that's one of them as well. But right now, what we're gonna do is just position and pummel, because pummeling is what's gonna get you out of positions.
This process here is what we call pummeling, or sometimes referred to as swimming, is the movement of the arms to either gain a better position or to advance a position. We're going to focus on the three main positions of the clinch, starting from closest in to the furthest out.
Overhook, underhook.
Okay, we're going to start off with the first position being overhook, underhook. Notice where my left arm is positioned on top of my partner's right arm. We call this position overhook because my arm is over my partner's arm. My partner's right arm, we call that an underhook because it's underneath my left arm. So this position right here is called overhook, underhook. If you notice the right hand side of my body, my right arm is underneath my partner's left arm. So it's the same position that the front facing part of our body has, but inverted, meaning I have the underhook and my partner has the overhook. This proximity and arm positions, meaning overhook and underhooks, can be found in different variations, such as having double underhooks or having double overhooks.
Now when I overhook, I don't really like to do this anymore. I just pin my arm, my elbow to my body. Got it? Now, this is the underhook here. What he's going to want to do is pummel that arm.
In this instance, my partner is moving their overhook into my underhook to gain better control.
In here, and then I switch over as well.
Once I pummel that arm in, we basically end up with the same position on the opposite side.
And then look, my feet can be regular, orthodox, it can be neutral, it can be southpaw, right? The thing about clinching is that the stance is very fluid. You're gonna be in all of these positions. And then now, as you pummel, smooth, right? Look at my head, relax. We go into position a second and then position a second. Single collar, this is neutral because we don't have double collar. We have one on the inside, one on the outside.
When people think of the Muay Thai clinch, they usually think of neck control. In this instance, we're talking about collar ties. For the most part, everyone thinks that the double collar tie or the full clinch is the position that you want to be in. And while it's a very dominant position, it's not the only position in the Muay Thai clinch. This is just one position. This is a great position to put people in to learn how to break and maintain posture, as well as being put in this position teaches you how to escape a bad position and regain posture. All you're really doing is putting one palm over the other and either holding on to the neck, or better yet, holding on to the top of the head or the crown of the head. That's going to give you more leverage so that you can break their posture down, basically pull their head down, and to obviously knee the head. Here's another example of the single collar tie being used. In this instance, I have a single collar tie while the other arm controls the opponent or partner's bicep.
So the goal is to pummel in here, right? And then we go here. Now look, see, I can stay neutral and just pummel, kind of protecting my neck a bit. All right, the last one, technically it's bicep, right? This is the furthest position. But what we do is we hand fight and we pummel, because this is typically the entry to clinching and wrestling, and then you see where we're at. So chances are you'll start from afar and then work your way into the closest range. And this is just a matter of maneuvering and feeling.
Let me talk about the different grips we use in the clinch. We have gable grip, second one being an S grip, and the last one being a ball and socket grip. You'll probably use all these different types of grips when you're clinching, and if you notice, there aren't any thumbs used in any of the grips. All these grips can be done with gloves on. Pay attention to the thumbs. This is one of the reasons why we don't use thumbs while we're wrestling, because you can't use thumbs while you're wrestling with gloves on.
In the sport, we have a few different grips, right? We talked about collar tie. What you'll find yourself in is usually a typical or double collar tie. And I think this is the best position, the strongest position in the sport. But yet again, when you're intermediate advanced, you can just start framing, pummeling. Now, it's going to be hard to keep someone in this position, all right? But even so, okay, palm over palm, right? You can relax a bit. Yeah, palm over palm, that's one. You can gable grip. That's another way of using the grips for the clinch. You can ball and socket yourself, and look, always using my elbows as anchor, right? And the three different positions, I want you to just work two basic knees, okay? We have a side knee, right? Side knee, boom, like slapping knee, boom, right? Or skipping, boom, side knee, boom, or skipping. Always with the thigh.
In training, we practice kneeing each other using our thighs, because if we full on knee, we can hurt our partners.
When you knee, get into the habit of pulling as well. Right? A lot of wrestling is pushing and pulling. When you attack, it's going to be a lot of pulling. Like when you knee, it's going to be a pull. All right, so look, slap knee, boom. All right, I go here, boom. Skipping knee, boom. Pummel, boom. Right, boom.
Let me just show the footwork for the skipping knees. And we call them skipping knees because it's similar to skipping rope. It's the same footwork. And here are a few examples of the straight knees and the skipping knees footwork on a heavy bag.
Okay, footwork, super basic stuff, okay? So sometimes we push to stack them against the ropes, but also to make them move their feet. And then maybe I go for something with the leg, right? So I push, maybe here, all right? I push, maybe there, all right? If I want to pull them forward, we just practice that a bit for that, all right? Or maybe I pull and they resist, boom, out of the knee. You get that? So in the clinch, there's value to pushing and pulling, moving forwards and backwards. Okay. This is the one that everyone still has trouble with. Left arm's the collar tie, you pull, right leg step, step, pull, turn, boom, right? We know in wrestling there's a push and a pull, so what we can do is help augment our torque that we develop to break their balance by using one arm to push and one arm to pull. And the push and the pull, you'll find it in every position. All right, it's always there. So now look, one. Now look, I'm going to push, pull, torque the spine. Left knee, pull. Now do the other side. Look from here. Look, like we just did. Left leg steps, push, pull, step, pull, knee, boom. You have my full clinch. So usually we have to always be worried about the elbows. So I always protect against the elbows. Now my go-to is just to pummel in, right? This is a hand pummel. I also call it like a kung fu move. Look here, right away, and then try to get in here, right? Here. You get that? All right. So check it out. Sometimes they start blocking, right? So then if I can't go under, then I go over, and then look here. Look. I never do this because that's an elbow right there. I go, and then cross face, push and pull, pummel in. Maybe I get the pummel, maybe not, I don't know. But then we know this position. Obviously I can always just go here, and now we're clinching. Okay? So just to review.
Hair check.
Right. Hair check, okay. Here, swim, maybe. All right, and then you get it, right? Or they block, go over, push pull, create space, pummel, pummel. Right? The thing with wrestling is like, if there's space, there's opportunity. So you always have to just minimize the amount of space between you guys until you're ready to do something. Yeah?
A clinch fighter is primarily called a Muay Khao fighter, which basically translates to a knee boxer. Khao being knee and Muay being boxer. If you want to research clinch fighters, here are a few names I recommend. First one I would recommend is Dieselnoy, a golden era fighter considered to be the best clinch fighter ever. We also have more contemporary fighters such as Pet Bonchu, often regarded as one of the best Muay Thai boxers in history, coming from a famous Muay Khao gym called FA Group in Bangkok. From that same gym, Yothin FA Group, more of a Muay Femur, Muay Khao style fighter. In fact, here's a video of him talking about the origins of his style.
เปิดไปมีสเต็ปเทคนิคมวยฝีมือสไตล์kick when I want to start Muay Khao maybe I remember I think 23 year old I come to FA group I want to start learn Muay Khao and a basic Muay Khao maybe 1 year or 2 year I start learn and now I understand clean understand technique clean but now I love Muay Khao style.
Other contemporary Muay Khao fighters you can watch is Pechmorakot. He just won the Rajaderman 160-pound stadium title. So within the Muay Khao style of fighting, there are also boxers that specialize in elbow strikes. These elbow fighters are called Muay Sok, which means elbow boxer. You can look up golden era fighter Yotkumpon or more modern fighters such as Muay Thai PK Senchai Gym. That's basically it. Understand that if you want to be a proficient clincher, it should be a consistent part of your training. I recommend anywhere between 5 to 6 days of clinching. For example, here at the Thai Boxing Institute, we clinch primarily 4 days a week, with one class dedicated specifically to clinching. Here are a few tips on being a good clinch partner. Clinching with someone is the same as sparring with someone. Basically, sparring isn't fighting. Sparring isn't hitting your partner with 100% power, nor is it trying to win the rounds. The general purpose for sparring is to improve your skill, but to also help your teammates improve as well. Basically, it means to be tactful and tactical. Tact being thoughtfulness, consideration, and understanding. Tactical meaning calculated, plotted, planned, and strategic. Don't be a partner that resists so much that your entire body is shaking from resistance, eventually leading to exhaustion. Conversely, don't be a partner that is a complete limp noodle. Okay, you have to find about the balance of tension and relaxation. That's part of wrestling. For clinch sparring, don't muscle technique. Don't use all your strength. You have to learn to understand how to manipulate balance and use leverage. You got to learn to breathe and relax and not to be competitive. Also, don't knee the legs. That shit hurts. Okay, we got to run the next day. If you are good at one thing, don't spam the technique. Use it a few times and move on. If you are extremely good at the clinch, put yourself in a compromising position and practice getting out of it. Second is make sure your nails are trimmed always have trimmed nails, fingernails and toenails. If you feel like you're going to lose a grip, don't hold on with your fingers, just let go. Another note on hygiene is to please keep all your equipment dry, clean, and odor free. Specifically elbow pads and knee pads. If you are doubling up on classes, change your shirt to a dry one before clinching. And even if your shirt is dry, please make sure it's not a stinky dry shirt. Use of elbows. When you know how to use controlled proper technique, understand where the proper training targets are for elbows, and you know how to defend against elbows, then that's when you can really use elbows. If you don't have elbow pads, don't even think of using elbows. Alrighty y'all, and that is it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you learned something from this video. If you enjoy our content and you want to help our channel out, there's a few things you can do. 1, hit the subscribe button, get notified, hit that bell. 2, add us on Instagram at the Thai Boxing Institute. Or 3, buy some merch, tbimerch.com. And I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors. Thank you so much for supporting us and believing in what we do here at the Thai Boxing Institute. Thank you guys so much for all your attention. Really appreciate it. Till next time, take care. Bye.